Okay.
I'm not signing nothing.
Okay.
I've been through the system, buddy. I know how it
you
works.
have. I know you have.
You're
Jeff.
not my friend.
Yes,
All
you
you're trying to get is some stupid-ass confession, and you're not going to get one.
On a regular evening in 2011, the alarm bell of a local 7-Eleven activated itself. The local police department began receiving reports of an armed robbery. But when the police arrived at the scene, the suspect was nowhere to be found. After expanding the search, the police caught wind of commotion in a house nearby. And without any other traces, they stormed in and found a well-known heroin addict chilling with a gun. With no evidence, the police arrested the man, hoping to easily crack the case through interrogation. But they had no idea what a big mistake that was. The man who committed the robbery was Jeff Pearson, and the following goes down in history as he became the legend who outsmarted the cops at their own game, while experiencing horrific heroin withdrawals. Welcome to When the Suspect Outsmarts the Cop. Considering the robbery and arrest went down in the state of Georgia, the usual minimum sentencing would be 10 years behind bars. But things can get heavy, stretching all the way to life sentence without parole. But unfortunately for the cops, Jeff was clear from the beginning of the footage that he isn't there to play games. And instead of serving multiple decades in prison, he just spent a day being served drinks and candy by the cops while performing a masterclass in what to do while in police custody, dodging all the dirty methods they will try on you.
Am I under arrest?
For now.
I'm under arrest?
Yeah, I'll explain everything, but before I explain myself to you, before we talk to each other, I need to read your rights, okay?
What am I under arrest for?
Well, like I said, I need to read your rights first. Obviously, the charge is robbery, okay?
From the very first second, Jeff takes the lead and immediately opens by asking if he's under arrest and on what grounds. This is exactly what you should be doing in this situation. Now, there are two options from here to defend yourself and not fall for the sneaky traps the police use to solicit a confession. If you're not being arrested or detained, you can state that you're also not obligated to stay and answer questions, and you should be free to leave the interrogation. If you are being arrested, you can then ask for a lawyer and stay silent until you're provided with one. Now this is where it gets hilarious as the detective makes his first mistake. In America, the officer is legally obligated to read your Miranda rights prior to any formal police questioning. But listen carefully to the Miranda warning that this officer reads out to Jeff.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to the lawyer for advice before we question you. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer and you want one, a lawyer will be provided for you. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you'll still have the right to stop answering questions at any time. Does that make sense? You've probably heard these before, haven't you?
These 3 points are extremely important and are often overlooked due to the stress situation of being under arrest. People usually just skim over these rights when they're being recited to them, not realizing that they're getting some seriously helpful information to stay safe and protected. But did you notice what he didn't mention? The detective consciously skips the part that tells you that if you ask for a lawyer while under arrest, they are not allowed to continue questioning, and you have the right to refuse to answer any questions and stay silent until you're provided with an attorney. He also ends the rights, reminding Jeff that he is a previously convicted criminal.
Do you understand your rights? Do you understand your rights, Jeff? Yes or no? Do you understand?
We're getting paid more than you are, so we can sit here for a long time, man.
I just need you to answer me yes or no. Do you understand your rights? Let's get through that question. Do you understand what I read to you?
Jeff decides to remain absolutely silent. At this moment, the leading detective realizes that they are going to be there for a long time. As he leans back in his chair, his body language shows he's getting annoyed and losing patience.
If you got something that says you didn't do this robbery, this is your chance to talk to us.
Okay, good cop.
No, usually I'm the prick.
You look like the prick.
I am.
Once again, Jeff takes the lead and turns the tables by starting to ask them questions instead of answering. It makes you wonder who is really in charge here.
I'm not asking if you want to talk to me at this point. I just want to know, do you understand what I read to you?
So am I under arrest?
Yes, you're under arrest.
Get me back to the cell. I don't talk to you, motherfucker.
Jeff knows the cops have nothing on him. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there talking to him. 2 hours later, he's brought back for round 2.
Want a Coke?
Yeah. I need methadone.
Need methadone? I don't have any. Do you have medication for it, or a prescription for it? Or?
No.
What do you need methadone for?
Because I'm a fucking junkie, and you guys, I can't get no methadone. I'm gonna go through withdrawal here in a minute.
Jeff mentions the withdrawals that he's starting to feel and asks for methadone, which can be used to significantly reduce the effects of the withdrawal.
How long you been using heroin?
Long time, buddy.
10 years? 15 years? Look, here's the deal. Either you're in a bad set of circumstances, or you went and committed an armed robbery last night.
Yeah,
right?
I'm in a shitty, wrong place at the wrong time, obviously. I didn't commit no fucking armed robbery.
All right, then let's talk about this. Let's
I
not
don't
keep up the
talk
act.
to the police, man.
The detective tries to use the nice guy tactics, but Jeff is clearly through with the personal talk and just wants to get out of there. He knows he's been arrested for something he didn't do.
Okay.
I've been through the system, buddy. I know how
I know
it
you
works.
have. I know you have,
You're
Jeff.
not my friend.
I'm not your friend.
You're trying to fucking get me. Or you're
No,
trying
I'm not trying to get
all
you.
you're trying to get is some fucking stupid ass fucking confession, and you're not going to get one.
Jeff, I'm not going to get a confession out of you for nothing.
Exactly, because I
And
didn't
I'm
do
not trying to
nothing.
get a confession out of you.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, I didn't commit no armed robbery, and y'all ain't got no fucking evidence saying I did. Let me go. All you did is find me sitting in my buddy's house.
It's funny how the cop says he's not trying to get Jeff while he's handcuffed in an interrogation room. However, everything Jeff says is so perfect it almost sounds rehearsed. And the fact that he's experiencing withdrawals and yet manages this level of personal legal defense is just incredible. The technique used in this interrogation is the read technique. This technique consists of 9 steps, starting with a polite discussion about why the suspect is being accused, followed by using certain actions and body language within the interrogation as a display of guilt. The method ends with offering the suspects 2 alternative questions. But whichever alternative the suspect chooses, guilt is admitted. This forces the suspect into a corner and is extremely good at extracting false confessions from innocent suspects.
Tell me what happened last night. Plain and simple. Your side of the story.
I'm not talking to you. I'm warning you.
I don't understand that. What changed? Just in the.
Because I told you what. I already told you what happened.
But now you've handcuffed me, and I can't talk to you because you've asked for an
I'm a
attorney.
lawyer.
So okay, that's fine. But I will tell you right now, you're still on a hold for a robbery.
I know. I don't know why. I need a fucking lawyer because obviously I didn't do nothing. And obviously you guys know I didn't do nothing because I've been arrested for the same bullshit before and you guys don't interview me this much. So, wham bam, thank you for the coke, put me back in the cell.
Jeff has now asked for a lawyer and continues to refuse answering questions. And even though he's starting to feel cravings, his ability to defend himself and completely destroy this detective only gets better from here.
Here's what the deal is. I have enough evidence
Like what?
of the armed robbery, okay? I got a lot of physical evidence.
Well, like what? Name the thing.
Well, I don't need to, why should I tell you that?
This is where the cop starts to become desperate. He completely abandoned any interrogation technique. Instead, he moved on to threats and false claims of evidence. He knows he's running out of time.
There's only a couple pieces of evidence I'm missing.
Name them.
What's that?
Name
Well, why do I need to do that? You haven't helped me out at all. You give me a little bit, I give you a little bit. We go back and forth. I give you one of my pieces of evidence, and I give me a little something.
No, anything I say here can and will be used against me.
Sure, but anything you say here, I can also tell your parole officer, and you help me out.
That doesn't mean dick.
The detective is desperately trying to negotiate with Jeff using the old technique we've seen in the movies. If you help me, I will help you, and put in a good word with his parole officer. But Jeff knows that means absolutely nothing. This further enforces that the cops have absolutely nothing to convict him with. They know that if they don't get anything out of Jeff soon, their time will run out. Jeff is aware of the situation. He knows he's almost won and is watching the clock closely. The officer tries everything. He brings up the gun that was found. He tries to scare him by taunting him with what being in prison could be like without any of the drugs he's addicted to. But Jeff stays absolutely stone-faced and continues to deny everything.
I'm done, man. Fuck this. I'm not even answering. All this shit that I just said is gonna be fucking written in the discovery now, right?
I'm not even going to do discovery.
The prosecutor is.
Okay.
I half-ass know
Yeah.
that the only reason I came up here is to get a fucking Coke.
Okay.
And I got it. But now I want a Butterfinger.
But that's not going to happen for a while.
I need to go to the hospital. I'm coughing up blood.
Okay.
Let's go to the hospital.
Jeff knew misspeaking at any point could be his downfall. For the last few hours, the police had been questioning a man in pain and even denied him access to something that would help him feel better. They questioned him repeatedly on a crime for which there was no evidence. Jeff asked for a lawyer, yet they didn't give him access to one, and continued questioning him, as that's not a violation of the rights they read him multiple times. However, 12 hours later, Jeff was released from custody and sent home. It's happily reported that from here, Jeff began to turn his life around. He's off heroin and is now a YouTuber where he gives pro tips on how to avoid the police's tricks.